Welcome to an episode of the Sports Genes Into the Lab podcast, where sports analysts and experts dissect the latest news from the NBA and NFL, giving you a unique view on some of the hottest topics around your favorite teams. From the fresh field smells of the NFL to the hardwood courts of the NBA, and possibly your comfy couch for your fantasy football team. Let's see what kind of news the lab is working with today. Here's your host from the Sports Analytics headquarters in San Antonio, Texas, Ernest Silva.
So much hype. What a great weekend. I mean, as a Cowboys fan, I am all smiles today. I am your host, Ernest Silva, Doc E for some of y'all. For others, the Sport Gene from the old time paths, and for most of y'all joining us, we are powered by Blue Collar Media Group. Very excited to have you guys a part of tonight's episode. That's right. My colleague Steve Reiser is with us. But as you may know it, I am doing quite well this season. At Into the Lab Pod is where you can find us, where you're watching us right now. But I am in third place for the chase for the ITL ring, 79-43. So if you've been following along, you've been winning a lot more than you have been losing. And trust me, we have a doozy for you today. Lots of analysis, as we have two of us here today going back and forth on the games. Some snoozers. That's why most of the team isn't here. But we're excited to go over this with y'all. But be careful, guys. That's not a glitch on your screen. That's not a glitch on your screen. Nope. It may be flashing. That is glitch energy. Glitch energy is what you see right there. Get 20% off today. Use our code BCMG. We're our featured sponsor of today's episode, Glitch Energy. But joining me, the other person that's across the way here is Steve. You voted him in the General Reisner. What's going on, Steve?
Just one of the last few nights I'll be able to push myself to sit out on this back deck and enjoy my cigarettes while we record this show. So, I'm sitting outside. Let's talk some fucking football.
I am very excited. But we do have some late arrivals. That is right.
I know,
An early alarm. Dre Rogers from deep in the blue ocean of Bali, Indonesia, and Andrew Khan Sutton has joined us.
Dre's fucking deep sea diving in Indonesia, fucking picking up drug bales. Decided to hop on the show.
What's going on, fellas?
What's shaking? What's going on, Dre?
Is that the first? Mute?
That's the first. I think that's the first. That or he stepped away to go swim with dolphins. I'm not sure.
Or he's dead.
Tough life.
Could be dead. Guys, we have some fun stuff and some not so fun stuff to talk about today. I'm going to start things off with just some fun stuff. And you know what? I'm really good at math. I'm terrible at words, so I'm going to butcher this. But we do want to talk about Mr. Papa John. If you haven't read the story of Papa John's owner, John, let's not even try the last name.
Good luck.
It is actually quite interesting, but we only want to share a snippet with you. And the snippet we want to share with you is a recent article written about him. He couldn't let go of the fact of what happened with the Papa John's. So we did find this little snippet. We thought it was perfect to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and let's put it on the screen. And let's talk about what he says. So here is a snippet from the most recent article about Papa John's founder, John Schnatter. Let's say Schnatter or Schnatter. Whatever it is.
Baby.
Schnatter, yeah. He says he wanted to avoid building an ostentatious 4-story house, which is why much of his was built into a slope and can't be seen from the road. He has his project manager walk me around to his side, where we enter a tunnel designed to look like a centuries-old Italian streetscape. It leads to the subterranean garage where Mr. S parks his 3 vintage Chevrolet Camaro Z28s. There, Mr. S reappears and leads me through a back door into the house. We head to his gym, a cavernous room decorated with wall-to-wall memorabilia, documenting his rise as a pizza mogul, and to an old-timey mogul, and to an old-timey movie theater where he watches football. Then we climb the circular staircase up to the foyer the centerpiece of which is a 16-foot tall sculpture of 2 eagles descending from the sky mating. It just speaks to me, he says, gazing up at it. I think it's badass. That is just a snippet of what we wanted to share with you guys today of Mr. S and the Papa John story. For more, please go check out Bloomberg's article. Sponsors, one of our great sponsors of BCMG, Bloomberg. I'm just kidding. That's not a sponsor, but go check out the article. He is just so upset he was taken out of Papa John's. I just thought that was the coolest thing to read. I mean, the man is Batman without the suit. That's basically what he is.
I mean, like me and you were talking about when you brought that up earlier before we started, before we went live. It's like he's on cocaine. Like that is Peruvian.
Absolutely.
That is Peruvian cocaine, 72 before the rains.
The best. The best. Like,
yes.
hands down.
I hope somebody watching gets my 72 before the rains reference.
Only if they're over the age of 60.
Sorry, I'm not going to lie to you. I spaced out mightily.
You got the reference, right?
I didn't catch the reference. I was focusing on mushrooms that I did not clean, and I'm getting lit up about it. So I'm making sure.
That makes a lot of sense.
I said that to buy that sculpture, he had to have been on Peruvian cocaine, 72 before the rains.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I get the reference. Now that I've heard it again.
All right. And Andrew's not over 60.
That Mr. Papa John's got some issues. That's all I can fucking say.
He really does. He really does. Guys, let's talk about some NFL news before we go into round one. Dre, is your audio working?
That's the second mute of the night.
It is the second mute.
We're 7 minutes.
Hold on. He's working on it.
It's the second mute. After he remuted himself, that's absolutely the second mute.
All right. That's 2 mutes.
We could call it 2.5.
Work on it. I think you might want to change your name to no audio only. But that might be something we work on. Guys, if you haven't heard the news, I'd be very surprised if you're watching this show. Henry Ruggs has been released by the Las Vegas Raiders. We are not going to dive into the details other than he was dropped faster than he was driving. Guys, not a good look for Henry Ruggs. Not a good look for Las Vegas. But it's a good look they dropped him, but not a good look that it's their second incident in 2 years. Anybody want to talk about Henry Ruggs, or should we just move on?
I mean, it's not
I do have a thought, actually. So, as someone who has had a DUI, I'm not defending it. It is a stupid fucking thing to do. He did kill someone. I'm lucky I didn't kill someone. But I do think that a lot of people rush to hate on people when they get a DUI, and in reality, about 85% of people drive drunk at least once in their life. It's just everyone does it. The thing is that these NFL players, not only do they have way more money than us and can easily afford Ubers that we can afford, but the NFL has a ride service.
They do.
And this is what I like to bring up every time. The NFL has a ride service that they can call at any time of night, no questions asked. They will get a ride home, and they will get their car driven back to their place for them. They have no excuse. Not that there's ever any reasonable excuse to be going 156 miles per hour and kill a woman and her dog. But they have no excuse at all to ever be driving drunk. They have a paid-for ride service by the NFL. There's no excuse for these players anymore. It's horrible when we see the NFL players do it. Oh, that's Kenny, but that's what I'm saying. They don't even need to call an Uber. They have a ride service paid for. It's free. Just get a ride.
Completely agree. Andrew, you wanted to say something before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the way that I look at it is that it just seems that you're not. Here's the thing: athletes, I know that are put on a pedestal, right? I think we all kind of see them in a different light. We portray them in a different way, but they are still humans at the end of the day, and humans do make mistakes. And Henry Ruggs makes a huge one. The crazy thing is, this kid was, a 14th overall pick. I mean, he's a first round 14th pick. I mean, they had a lot of things kind of targeting towards him this year. They wanted him to be the number one guy, and it seemed that he was kind of getting there. And then at 22 years old, your whole life is completely gone. We're looking at jail time of 2 to 20 years, I do believe, was the read today. They also found a loaded handgun.
It carries a minimum of 2 years in Nevada for the DUI and killing someone.
And then
a
I saw
minimum
that
of 2 years. And when you set a car on fire going 156 miles per hour and also kill a dog.
No one stands a chance in that situation. I mean, I agree with Kenny taking Uber. I agree with Steve. The NFL does have a program that's implemented for people to have safe rides no matter the time or the day. People are literally hired by the NFL for that certain specification. But, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's really unfortunate because I think we lose sight of, obviously, prayers and thoughts to the family who lost, a daughter and a dog
Absolutely.
as well. But, I mean, Henry Ruggs' career as us as analysts who watch the game or perspective, I think he was having a great year, a good breakout year. He was a downfield presence for Derek Carr this year. A couple huge plays this year, and his career has done it. 22 years old. I mean, it's unfortunate, but these things happen. So if there's any lesson to learn, if you've got the right people in your place in the right corner, and you don't have to prove anything, then. I mean, and you've got people there to help you out, especially when it comes to having a driving program implemented. Please always use it.
I cannot say any more than that because that is absolutely on it. And guys, don't be afraid to make that call, right? Always make that call. I'd like to shout out Just Luke, who always offers his car on the weekends. He's just absolutely amazing. Dre, is your audio on? That would be the sound of being deep in the oceans of Bali. We'll check in with Dre a little bit later. Let's move on to the next one. Melvin Ingram. Head takes his talents over to Kansas City. Big acquisition to help Kansas City put some pressure on opposing quarterbacks, but not the need that they really needed to address at the deadline. In my humble opinion, I do believe that the offensive line should have been addressed at the deadline or at least add some capacity there. Guys, does this move the needle at all for you for Kansas City?
No,
they're in trouble.
I think there are internal problems that need to be figured out.
They got rid of a lineman at the deadline.
Which made
rid of an offensive lineman. To be honest, the offensive. I can go. Should I save it for when we're talking about?
Yeah, let's save it.
Yes,
let's save it. Dre might be back up, and we'll go on to the next segment. But this was a big one. Von Miller to the Rams. I think this is the one that moves the needle a bit for me because that defense is now stacked. You're talking about Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, all on the same defensive force in any game is something to deal with. Unless you're the Cowboys, you have that counter. Any other team, you really don't. And the only reason I say is because Dallas has the top 3 of the top 5 linemen in the league right now, according to the stats and according to the books. So, guys, when it comes to the Rams, and I fully expect to have this debate of Cowboys-Rams, are the Rams the best all-around team in the NFC?
On paper, I would say yes. I think on paper, the most all-around team. You look at the season that Stafford's having since the move, Cooper Kupp, the year that he's having, he's setting up legendary numbers right now. He's smashed a couple records. I mean, they got Henderson's been good when they need him. And we forget that like Van Jefferson has been pretty good for them at times. And then you look at this defense, man. If you were playing Madden 21 or Madden 22, you would look at this defense and this should be like a 99 overall rated defense. But here's the thing. I've noticed watching Denver games, Von Miller kind of lost a little bit of his jump. Maybe that's just because he's playing with who he is, but he lost a little bit of that go. And maybe that pickup comes back to him when he plays on this team. That's all I can say. I think Aaron Donald's probably pretty pumped about this as well. Jalen Ramsey's obviously back in top 5 best form of his career again after, I think, a pretty struggle-ish year last year. But yeah, folks, this LA team, they're for real. They are for real.
I mean, if you think about it, the Los Angeles Rams are the anti-Chiefs. They have a great passing game. Chiefs can't defend the pass. They have a great
run game,
a great front seven and rush. Chiefs can't block. So, like, if the Chiefs have some sort of miraculous run, they do not want to face the Rams in the Super Bowl because it's absolutely
you'll get pumped.
I mean, like Andrew, you said, and you're right. That Von Miller, he doesn't have the same go that he used to, but he's getting up there in age. He's still actually playing pretty good for a guy.
Oh, for sure.
Age.
No, not discrediting him at all.
When you put him on the other side of Aaron Donald, you have to dedicate at least 2, maybe 3 blockers to Aaron Donald at all times.
Right,
Well,
which
it's
is
going to free up Von Miller.
Who do you-
yeah,
who do you
Von
spare,
Miller.
right?
Von Miller is gonna get after it. I think they overpaid because they're gonna take on the salary and giving up. It was a second and a third.
I mean, $9 million of a
Thank you.
$9.5 million contract is a lot of fucking salary to eat.
Yeah, but so here's the thing: the Rams also overpaid for Matt Stafford, and we've talked about this before. They're trying to capitalize on. Yeah, well, they don't want. It's not an overpay if they win a Super Bowl, and they're
Correct.
trying to capitalize on Aaron Donald's career. So
But
they're
this-
loading up right now because you can't waste Aaron Donald.
This team right now with 3 draft picks the next 2 years is either win it or break it. I mean, that's
correct.
Oh,
That's
yeah, you
exactly-
you
it's-
have
we win or
you
bust.
have to win. You have
yeah.
to win something.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Definitely the Brooklyn Nets of the NFL, guys. I
For
gotta
sure.
say right now, though, for me, it's great moves for a team. I think NFC Championship is their ceiling. I think it's the Dallas Cowboys to
For-
lose at this
For
point.
sure. For
At
sure.
this point,
Well, my NFC. I'm not saying who's going to win right now. My NFC Championship matchup at this point right now is Cowboys Rams.
Yeah, I think it's the most logistic.
And
And that's not even just being a homer. I think it's the most logistic after what I've seen in the NFC.
yeah,
I think it's the most logistic.
I think it's what we deserve to. Like, I
And,
think
like,
that
let's
would
not
be the best NFC Championship.
Like let's also not forget that the
And
Cowboys
I
lost
think
to
it would
the
be
Buccaneers
great
by
to see you
2
guys
points.
lose in the NFC Championship.
Dre, is your audio working now? No, I think
No,
he's
he's
out. All right, Dre tried, guys. He's gonna
Dre's
go diving.
drowning.
Dre, go have a great dive. We're gonna do some analysis on here. You know what? You guys, we feature these every week. Hopefully next week we have the updated clip. But you know what? Let's watch this commercial of the BCMG stream team and go right into our pick'em.
You can't stop me now. You can't stop me now. You can't stop me now.
Oh, yo, flip that!
Oh, that was clutch.
Not gonna hurt. You got a pretty good punch there.
Having a mental breakdown? Fuck no, dude. I'm having a fucking mental breakup.
Breakup.
I see.
My fucking Christ. Those jump scares are fucking insane.
Oh my! Did you just die? No, someone fucking walked into the room that I was in.
Breaking tradition here. I fell through. I broke my legs. That's what I get for talking crap.
No fucking way! Let's go! Yo, that guy in the heli.
I laugh at that line by Sam every time.
It's
you
one of
can't-
my favorite. I'm not having a mental breakup. Breakdown. I'm having a mental breakup.
And like like the part that's like the other part that's funny to me is like that's probably what's going on in Sam's head
For
at,
sure.
like
All the time.
97% of the time.
At Sam Fashion, if you haven't followed him, twitch.tv/Sam Fashion. Absolutely phenomenal. He's hitting his
Hey, bud.
1,000 follower.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
on
he's going to be
Twitch.
doing his giveaway. Fantastic. I'm so proud of your growth, Sam. Keep doing great things. Thank you so much for being a part of BCMG. In our comments so far, you might have seen the Shooter Shoot podcast is right. Number 1, Kenny watching the show from afar. We appreciate you, Kenny. And of course, Perf joining and adding his input. He's ready for some Thursday Night Football action. All right, announcer, why don't you ring the bell and let's start things off right with round number 1. Bing, bing, bing. All right, that's round 1. That's round 1. All right, primetime pick'em. If you're new to the show, get your pens out, get your typing out. Del Powell, the bowler, joining us as well. Del, stick around. I want to hear those picks. All right, guys. Primetime pick'em. We're going to go over spreads. We're going to do some in-depth analysis on the first 5 games. Then we're going to speed round, fire round. We're going to go through each of the next games, give our picks of the winners, maybe a brief analysis and run through it. We do have a couple of snoozers this week, so let's run through the first game. That takes our talents over to Indianapolis, where we have the Colts taking on the Jets. Indianapolis Colts are 10.5-point favorites against the Jets. We don't have one of those fancy intro videos for this one, but let's talk about this, guys. Carson Wentz and Michael Pittman went on a show last week. Looked absolutely phenomenal. Helped me destroy the winning streak of what it was for Gun Ho and the Alamo there in fantasy. Sorry about that, Andrew. Some egg on your face about that. Ruined that dominant team that you bragged about.
Yeah, my Derrick Henry injury doesn't
Thank you,
help.
by the way, Ernest, because now I'm 2 spots ahead of two games ahead of everyone else for the front spot.
Steve is 2 games ahead of us
The
in
road,
that league.
the road to the chip goes
The
through
road to
me.
the chip and the belt goes through Steve. So let's talk a little bit about the
the
Colts,
road
right?
to the belt goes through me.
The Colts look great. They kept Marlon Mack at the deadline. Wide receiver core is healthy. Defense looks phenomenal. They take on a Jets team that is absolutely on a high, getting their first win of the season. Upset of the week. Nobody saw it coming. The Jets beat the Bengals. And all of a sudden, people are asking, is Mike White the answer? But
White
guys,
Mike, bro.
the Michael Carter looked phenomenal in this game coming off their bye. I'm going to start this one off and talk about my pick. I am taking the Colts to win this game and not cover this spread. It is a very large spread, and if I was a bettor, I'd definitely stay away from it. Thursday Night Football, aside from the Tyrod Taylor injury Thursday Night Football game, have all been close. None of them have covered.
Games.
So I'm going to go with this one and say Indianapolis wins and doesn't cover. Andrew, who do you have in this game?
Oh, Indy wins, doesn't cover. I mean, I was really impressed. I was texting Steve during the Jets game. I can't believe I was actually fucking watching part of it, but I just couldn't stop watching how good it was, man.
I was yelling like I was actually like happy for the Jets, which was a weird thing for me to say because I wanted to see them lose, but at the same time, I'm like, the Jets are gonna win this with fucking
some of his passing,
almost shedding a tear.
Mike White. Like, what is going on right now? I'm like,
his pass to Crowder in the end zone for that TD was like a fucking QB's toss, man.
Absolutely.
Like, it was a beautiful play.
Dude, Mike White was out there dealing like White Mike McCreary from season 2 of The Wire.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I call him White Mike.
The biggest takeaway I have from that team is that they played a complete game. I mean, realistically, the defense did what they had to do. They got the timely interception on Burrow, which was big. The Jets needed some momentum, obviously. This whole Michael White reminds me of the whole Jake Luton situation last year. If you don't remember, Jake Luton came in for the Jaguars, won a game for them, and then they went on a 20-game losing streak. And then Trevor snapped
Jake
that.
Luton.
And he was the last guy to win it for them. So, I mean, it kind of reminds me of that story a little bit where it's an underrated, underappreciated quarterback comes in, wins a big game, then, kind of dies off. I think Carson Wentz, my biggest concern in this game is that he needs to figure out his turnover thing and fucking immediately. He has thrown some of the worst interceptions I have ever seen in the history of football. The one in the end zone. The one in the end zone.
Did any of you guys happen to see Teddy Bruschi go off on Carson Wentz and the turnovers
I saw the clip. It was pretty
this
funny.
week? It was pretty funny, but he was 1,000% right. These turnovers are bad.
The Colts had a chance to win that game pretty decisively, and then he threw that pick into triple coverage, and I'm like, where the hell are you going, Carson? Like, I know you like Pittman, but you got to realize, like, you can check down, man. A lot of quarterbacks seem to forget that they can check down 10-yard passes to get the first down, especially in overtime. Like, you don't have to long bomb it. Anyways, nonetheless, I do think the Colts win this game. They don't cover. I think the Jets are going to be competitive in this game. They're probably pretty amped. Jamison Crowder looked really, really good. Carter looked good. Ty Johnson looked good on his touchdown run. I don't think the Jets win this game. It'll be good to see them be competitive, but like you said, Thursday night games, everything's been like 3-point finishes. So
it's true.
Give me the Colts to win, but don't cover.
9 fourth quarter changes so far in Thursday Night Football, which is a record, which should show
That's
you
insane.
that a lot of games have been very close. Steve, who do you have in this game?
I got the Colts to win, but like you guys, I don't got them. I can't take them to cover the spread. I usually have my rule about double-digit spreads that I waived last week. We got to reinstate it for this game. I can't do a 10.5. I mean, Carson Wentz, like you said, with the turnovers, man, it seems
wild.
It seems like for every 2 or 3 like fantastic throws, he's got
4 or 5
one. He's got that throw that comes up right after it that you're like, wait, what the fuck are you doing?
It's true.
Yeah, whatever Carson Wentz had for dinner, So did Patrick Mahomes. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's go over to the comment section. Dell, the bowler Powell, says, I got the Jets for the upset, guys. He also says it cost him a perfect pick on Yahoo Pick'em. I get it.
A ton of people perfect picks.
I get it. Perp says he wants to see the Jets win and that Wentz is overrated. Cannot disagree more about Wentz. But
hey, listen, I'm happy for the Jets. I'm realistically a football fan at heart, and seeing a team lose that much sucks. So I'm very happy to see the Jets win.
Yeah, very excited. Let's move on.
As a Patriots fan, seeing the Jets lose that much is just awesome.
I'm sure you feel good, but Steve, let's hold on because we're going to Texas. Video gets me hyped up. That's for damn sure. How about them Cowboys? 6-1 Dallas Cowboys hosting the Denver Broncos, 9-point favorites. Dak or Dakota Prescott, however you know him, will be starting in this game. Dak Prescott back. Andrew feels much better in having Dak because he lost both Dak and
Derrick Henry
in the same week. So, guys, Dallas Cowboys looking phenomenal. Michael Gallup is back. We're just waiting for DeMarcus Lawrence to get back on the field as well, and Dallas Cowboys will be rolling. Defense has been phenomenal, top 10 in the league. Offense has been phenomenal, top 3 in the league. Dallas Cowboys only really spot was coaching for a while, but the last couple of weeks have been actually pretty good. And special teams, you have Greg the Leg, although he's not very good with short kicks, but fantastic on long kicks. Who knows what's going on with that guy? Guys, Dallas Cowboys against the Denver Broncos. Broncos, Judy is back. Offense is rolling. Bridgewater is still probably a huge question mark for a lot of people. Von Miller gone. I don't know what they're going to do against that offense to slow it down other than Surtain, but Surtain can't cover, so many talented people on that team. Dallas by 9 or more for me. Matter of fact, I'd probably take Dallas minus 11.5 in this game. Dallas Cowboys win and cover for me. Andrew, as the other Cowboys analyst, I'll go to you.
Broncos are confused, man. They got no identity. I mean, I've been watching they're the biggest fraudulent 3-0 team in the NFL besides maybe the Carolina Panthers. I mean, there's nothing that tells me that the Cowboys shouldn't win this game by at least 14 points. I mean, you look at it defensively, if they had Von Miller, I would say this 9 might be a little closer because he obviously, would probably give Dak a little bit of trouble with that leg. But nonetheless, man, this O-line has been good this year. Zach Martin's been really, really good. I can't say enough about, some of the young guys have stepped up. But for me, it's like, yeah, Gallup is coming back. But now you have to worry about Gallup, Cooper, Lamb, Zeke, Pollard, and then you can add Cedric Wilson to the equivalency because Cedric Wilson has balled out in the time that he's been able to do his thing. I mean, he had a 75-yard touchdown last week.
When you guys played us.
Yeah, I mean, 75-yard touchdown. I looked at, I couldn't believe it, but he's 4 for 4 in passing in his career for 80 yards, a tutty, and a perfect passer rating. So that was pretty cool. But there's just too much Dallas for the Broncos to contain this game. I like Teddy Two Gloves. I think he's a great guy. I don't think he's a quarterback that is any good anymore. Like, he's a good dude,
I wouldn't
but
go that far.
He's not great. I mean, he's not a great quarterback. He's an average 20 to 30 ranked quarterback, in my opinion. He's just not what he used to be. It maybe helps that he would have an offensive line. Might have helped him a little bit, but yeah, the Cowboys should win this game and pretty decisively.
I'm very surprised Bridgewater actually remained on the roster. I thought for sure he'd go to like Seattle or Houston or something like that could use a running quarterback that could help. But then again, he hasn't ran much since he got hurt in the beginning of the year. Some people have messaged me personally, text me, and asked me why that wasn't a BCMG guarantee. So let me go ahead and make it clear. On our first pick, Dre chose Indianapolis to win and cover. Not that would take away from the guarantee, but Ashley, the sweetest voice on ITL, chose the Jets to win that game.
Okay.
So that is why we didn't guarantee it. But right
Ashley.
now, we are on a guarantee.
Ashley.
Yes, Ashley Cashley. We are on a guarantee alert with this game as we have 2 Dallas picks. Steve will be that tiebreaker. Steve, who do you have in this game?
Oh, you son of a bitch. You already know what my pick is, too. Yeah, I got the Cowboys to win and cover. That was...
the Cowboys winning over our first guarantee
that
of the
was a fantastic win by the Cowboys last week. I hate giving the Cowboys credit, but as a sports fan, as an honest analyst, I give credit where credit is due. and that is a fantastic win going on the road in a very hostile environment against which is a failing team in Minnesota, but a talented team without Dak Prescott and win.
I would just like to mention, just quickly, in the 2 previous games that Dalvin Cook has played against us, he's rushed for 150 and 135 yards. The Cowboys and that horrible defense that people shit on all the time, we held him down to 61 yards this game. Tell me Dan Quinn isn't perfect right now for this Dallas Cowboys defense.
Dan Quinn is doing exactly what they should have done last year. Play to your personnel. They never did that last year. They were stubborn. Nope. And now you can see what that means. When you have the right package with the right players.
Why is that a hard thing for a coach to figure out?
I don't get it. But I'm glad he's part of this staff. Guys,
so am I.
That is BCMG Guaranteed. Dallas -9. Write it down. Type it into your parlays. Go pick them on your favorite sites. But, of course, BetUS. Yeah, I think that's right. BetUS is the place. Baby. That's right. One of our featured sponsors here at BCMG, BetUS. Go and put code BCMG, and you'll get a match up to 125%. You wouldn't see it anywhere. Josh Elliott was here. He'd tell you himself. Let's go to the board. What do we have across the league? It looks like Perf is saying that the Broncos are a cupcake team, and Del Powell says his grandmother has no arms and is a better quarterback. I don't know what happened to those arms. I really want to find out what happened to the arms now. But yes, absolutely.
Of course, she's a 6'4", 250, runs a 4.6 40.
Yep,
for sure, but no arms.
Correct. Let's go to our second game of the week on Sunday. We're going to San Francisco. This game was a doozy when I was seeing it on the screen. San Francisco 49ers not the favorites at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals 1.5-point favorites to a questionable Kyler Murray. So very intriguing. Maybe Vegas doesn't think that the odds should be that spread out for an ailing quarterback. The Arizona Cardinals looked absolutely flat against the Green Bay Packers. Tricked all of us. As we couldn't even name the cornerbacks. We couldn't name the receivers of the Packers. We couldn't even name who was coaching the game. Nope. And the Packers came out on top. Absolutely ridiculous. And the Cardinals now go face the 49ers team who is on a high from Chicago. And the 49ers looked pretty darn good getting George Kittle back. So this is a team that's getting healthy. I'm going to start this off with you, Steve. Who do you have in this game?
I'm taking the Cardinals. I know they looked flat last week. That was a big upset by Green Bay, like you mentioned, with considering how many people were out. But I just don't like this 49ers team. I can't take this Niners team. Until I know that Murray is definitely not playing, I have to take the Cardinals to win and cover.
Absolutely understandable. Andrew, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I do. I think the Cardinals come back, and I think they should probably manhandle this game a little bit. I think their offense is pretty dominant when it gets going. Edmonds and Connor have been like a pretty good twosome out of the backfield silently, but they've been touchdown machines if you have them in fantasy. DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler seem to be a little disconnected at times. I hope that gets figured out. Credit to Deebo Samuel, who is just absolutely lighting this league up like Cooper Kupp this year. When healthy, Deebo is proving that he's a top 10 wide receiver. And last year he doesn't get hurt. He's obviously had issues before with his knee, but he looks healthy. He looks great. Jimmy Garoppolo and him have a great chemistry going on. I think it's going to be a super close game, but I think the Cardinals do win it by a last-second field goal.
So I don't want to put caution out there, but, following along the Aaron Rodgers lovely COVID scheme going on, he did clap hands, talk side to side to the ear with Kyler Murray after the game. All of a sudden, he's on the injury report. If Kyler has COVID, so all you Kyler owners and all you watching that, be wary about this spread. I wouldn't bet on this game way earlier than Sunday.
Conspiracy season, BCMG. I love it.
I would not listen. I'm not touching this game when it comes to betting. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not actually betting on this game just for the sake of the show.
If you're Austin Danger Powers and you're going to go take a chance on this game, be wary about COVID because it may be in Arizona right now and it's very hush. Right now, the NFL's trying to figure out what to do with Aaron Rodgers.
You might lose.
We'll get to that in a, we'll get to that in a
$1 million.
second for sure. Yeah, $1 million gajillion dollars. All right, let's go to Los Angeles. Londo, my producer, let's do it. Completely missed out on the Arizona money line. Our Arizona -1.5 BCMG guarantee. Add it to your parlays, people. Write it in. That we are noobs. We are noobs apparently today. Write that in. That's right. Dallas -9, Arizona -1.5 right now on that BCMG guarantee parlay. Steve's raising his hand because he's guaranteeing it times two.
No, I was
double your money.
Picking up my cigarette.
Oh, sorry. It's
Also that.
Yeah, also that. All right, Sunday Night Football. That takes us to the beautiful city of Los Angeles and them against the Tennessee Titans, who are Derrick Henry-less for the year. We're going to see a lot of McNichols, a lot of Adrian Peterson in this game. Tennessee Titans ramping up. Julio Jones still not clear, but A.J. Brown definitely ongoing. Ryan Tannehill doing Ryan Tannehill things. Then you have the Los Angeles Rams, who we've talked about quite a bit today. That newfound defense. Let's see what happens as they're going to be all vamped up. Rams at home, 7.5-point favorites. I don't see how you don't take the Rams in this game money line wise, but guys, at 7.5 points seems rather steep, even for somebody like me. I am going to take it all the way. Rams by 10 is what I would guarantee, but we'll say 7.5 for BCMG purposes. Andrew.
Rams win. They absolutely cover this game. I just from what I've seen in the reports of, McNichols has been questionable all year. His groin isn't 100%. Julio Jones isn't 100%. A.J. Brown has finally been reintroduced to football apparently this year. Ryan Tannehill is, I don't know. I'm still confused on this Titans team. Once they get a little bit of momentum, it just goes away. The Rams obviously making some big deals that we talked about earlier. I think they're going to pressure the shit out of Ryan Tannehill now that he doesn't have a 265-pound blocking back. The only thing that really confused me, guys, this week, to be honest with you, I love AP. I'm an AP guy till the day I die. But I feel like it was done. And there was one running back in particular that I thought would fit the Titans style perfectly. And Marlon Mack never got picked up by the Titans, which just blows me away. A guy who's obviously going to be in game shape, who's taking snaps this year. Adrian Peterson's been sitting at his house eating lasagna, getting soft. I just don't understand the signing. Maybe I'm wrong. Fill me in. Help me out.
It's a division foe. You just don't do it. You don't trade.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
The Colts weren't going to ship Mac to the Titans.
No way.
I get it.
Not after that game either.
I get it, but I just don't understand the logic of bringing Adrian Peterson back from the dead. It makes no sense.
I mean, I don't get that either. I love Adrian Peterson, but he doesn't. There's no way he has what he used to have. He's not getting. I think you're better off going and getting sticking a random young guy in like the Browns did with Dearness Johnson.
Yeah.
Get some young legs in there, because without Derrick Henry, they don't have their identity. So I mean, just like
Johnson?
you guys,
Dearness, yeah.
I'm gonna take the Rams to win and cover. The Titans lost their identity.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I agree with both of you, and that's another BCMG guarantee right into the record books right there. Los Angeles Rams to win this game. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It is not. Ashley says Tennessee will win this game. You guys are crazy.
Yes.
Put them down.
Oh, wait, but see, I already celebrated.
Ashley said no. Ashley said no. So just when you thought it was in the grips,
finger wave and it wasn't even a guarantee.
Ashley's taking the Jets and the Titans this week.
She is. She
bless
is
her.
absolutely on a tear. Londo,
Yo,
let's go to Pittsburgh before we start
Ashley's
crying.
smoking some good shit.
Ashley has gone through. Pittsburgh, Chicago, which is my nominee for snoozer of the week, but there's a lot more out there. Andrew's saying just wave in the BCMG guarantee. I'll give you some analysis on this game, though. Let's start off with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers offense is atrocious. Najee Harris is probably the lone bright spot for your fantasy wonders, but my goodness, it is hard to watch, although Cleveland was even worse last week. Pittsburgh coming off the win, going to get another easy game against the Chicago Bears, who have a great defense. If Mac plays, but Mac not playing probably proves Steelers might have a little bit more offense this week. And you're looking at a Chicago Bears offense that's possibly getting going with Justin Fields.
Fucking
there.
Sucks.
But Allen Robinson.
I almost took the Bears this week, but
where's the milk carton for Allen Robinson this year? I do not get it. Blown bright spot. The running back, Herbert, fantastic. He's been a fantastic find for Chicago. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And I'm taking the Steelers to win and cover in this game. And I don't think it's going to be as close as people think. It's going to be one of the first primetime blowouts, in my opinion. Probably about a 13-point spread. Steve, how do you feel about this game?
I'm going to take the Steelers. I thought about taking the Bears because the Bears looked a lot better last week. But, I mean, like, is Matt Nagy going to be back on the sidelines this week?
Oh, fuck.
Probably.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I'm going to take the Steelers.
Yep, Nagy is back. There goes the play calling. Andrew.
I said it last week, and I still don't understand how he has not been fired yet. Matt Nagy
didn't coach.
He's a horrible coach. God damn. Anyways,
dude, it's turned into the Marvin Lewis situation in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I never had proof for all those years. But to me, I always felt that Marvin Lewis had dirt on the owner or somebody in Cincinnati, and that's why he wasn't getting fired. And
he also had two of the biggest egos that he ever had to coach in Pac-Man and Ocho Cinco.
I'm convinced. I'm full on convinced that Marvin Lewis had pictures of someone doing something they shouldn't have been doing, and it's got to be the same situation with Matt Nagy in Chicago.
I don't know. I just think they've completely misused Justin Fields this year. I mean, realistically, he had a great game last week. I was happy to see a couple of his runs. He still kind of lacks that deep ball presence. He has the inability to get away on his feet, and we've seen that. That one touchdown was absolutely amazing. It was something you see out of a video game. But the other aspect of it is he has this inability to throw the ball accurately. And I think he's got a lot to learn about the NFL game yet. Of course, he's a rookie, and of course, in time, he's going to learn how to play the game. And I think once he does, Justin Fields is going to be a monster. But I am very skeptical of it being with the Chicago Bears. I think he probably plays out his rookie contract. He's going to go somewhere else. I mean,
Chicago, where quarterbacks go to die.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Trubisky, all these first-round picks that have, gone and tried to do things with Chicago, and Matt Nagy's offense has let them down consistently year after year. So I like the Steelers in this game. They're fucking boring as hell to watch. I don't know how shout out to Just Luke does it every week, and he's so dedicated. If you want a good read, listen to his Twitter biops when he watches a game. But, I mean, Najee Harris, you're right, Ernest, has been the one shining bright spot of this offense. This guy can play a slot receiver. He can play running back. He could literally do anything. Najee's been so explosive. He's fun to watch, man. But I think, Ben, this has to be your last year. They got to figure out something on wide receiver. Deontay Johnson's good, but he consistently is banged up. Juju Smith-Schuster's been out for the year. Chase Claypool, who kind of played pretty well last week.
I thought he did well.
I thought he played a really good game last week. Steelers should win this game. They should cover, but if you're a Bears fan, it's not getting better. Sorry.
Coach Peanut says, I'll take all that, Andrew, and say I'm going Bears. That was it. That's the analysis from Coach Peanut, one of the stream team members of the BCMG stream team. He says, go Bears. All right, guys, that is a BCMG guarantee.
Except for Peanut.
Pittsburgh -6. Pittsburgh -6. Let's go. Dallas -9. Arizona -1.5. Steelers -6. We are rolling here on those parlay tickets. I hope you're writing them down. I hope they're all getting down. We're going to go to Fire Round. That is right. We're switching gears to Fire Round. We're going to go down the board and talk about all these matchups and see. We are going to have a transition one day of Fire Round. It's going to be all these different graphics of just fire happening everywhere. And then it goes in our Fire Round. Let's start off with our first game. That's right. Jacksonville Jaguars with their newfound offense goes up against the Buffalo Bills. I know we got Andrew's showing guarantee. I do want to hold your guarantee.
If you want to do Fire Round, fuck it.
Yeah, I do want to hold your guarantee because I do want to say something. I don't know if you guys saw the most recent stories come out of ESPN, but there has been a ManningCast curse happening.
Anybody that goes on is lost.
Anytime that person goes on, they lose. Josh Allen was on Monday night's ManningCast.
Oh my God!
Does that change your pick?
You can put Cole Beasley as the quarterback, and they're still going to fucking win.
Oh my God!
The Jaguars are awful.
You're making me root for a Manning curse.
Dawson Knox could be the quarterback of the fucking Bills, and they're still going to beat the Jaguars.
All right,
dude,
we're going to do this.
Oh my God!
Then.
I'm just telling you, if the ManningCast curse is real and the Jaguars beat the Bills, then I will be. I will be just ecstatic next week.
Here's what I do.
If the Bills lose to the Jaguars next week and the Patriots are on a winning streak, I'm going to be the most unbearable person on Twitter.
If the Bears or if the Jaguars win this game against the Bills, I will go out and buy a Marvin Jones Jr. jersey, Jacksonville jersey. You heard it here first because he's on my fantasy team. I will buy his jersey if they win this game.
And I will not reimburse you for that jersey.
Okay,
here's my one piece of advice for fantasy owners, not Bills, looking at the Jaguars. James Agnew is the name and the person to own until DJ Chark comes back.
Agnew.
Jamal, there you go. Jamal Agnew. I just knew Agnew. And that is the person to own. Here's why. The offensive coordinator is the Detroit Lions' former offensive
and they know
coordinator.
Agnew very well.
And they know Agnew. That's why the offense is built around him. Go over there. It's obviously not Urban Meyer's offense right now. You can
Marvin Jones Jr. That's why I said take him because
it's all Detroit Lions. Yeah, it's all Detroit's team. So there you go. Jaguars will lose to the Bills. BCMG guarantee. Add it to your parlay ticket unless you follow the ManningCast curse. Go Jacksonville if you do. Let's take it over to Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Bengals trying to get some redemption against another team that's seeking redemption, the Cleveland Browns. Cincinnati hosting the Browns at home in this game. Obviously, there's not enough we can't say about Joe Burrow and that high-flying offense. Joe Mixon looks fantastic this year. I'm a Mixon fan. I have been 3 seasons in a row in ITL. You already know I'm all about that Cincinnati offense. The defense, though, is very questionable. The defense reminds me of the Titans defense of a couple years ago where they're just there, they're gone. They're there, they're gone. Who's showing up? Who knows? So we have that happening with Cincinnati. Cleveland Browns should have a healthy Nick Chubb, Baker Mayfield, but no OBJ. Where OBJ lands, that's the controversy right now. They told him to stay home. Who knows where he goes? That would be fantastic if he ended up in Houston. My bet is that he gets released and he goes to New Orleans. But let's go down the road here. I'm taking the Bengals to win this game at home, come back from their bad loss. Steve, who do you have?
I went back and forth on this one because last week the Bengals bungled and the Browns fell down. And I'm just going to guess that the Bengals don't bungle this week and the Browns, don't quite get back up.
Thank you for that wonderful analysis, Steve. That wonderful analysis. Andrew.
Yeah, I think the Bengals learned a lot about last week and what they have as a team identity. I mean, Burrow, I think, is going to learn from that untimely pick. I mean, they were driving the field. They would have put him away with a field goal, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation if Burrow doesn't throw that pick. So I think he learns his lesson from it. I mean, Burrow's been lights out all year. Him and Jamar Chase are the best combination in the NFL right now, I think, anyways. The Browns, there's so much drama going on with that organization. It just doesn't seem like anything makes sense. There's no identity. And last year I was the biggest hype fan of the Baker Mayfield era, and I feel like he's just getting thrown a fucking passer at this point with that team. Jarvis Landry's questionable, didn't practice today, probably not going to play on Sunday if I'm putting money on it. Odell Beckham's going to, I said the Saints. You said the Saints. I tend to probably agree with that. There's just Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt is still hurt. I mean, this team's got disaster written all over it. Their defense is shaky. Give me the Bengals.
Basically,
Bengals are
you're
the
saying that the Browns are coming back to reality.
They are becoming the
Slowly.
Browns again.
Slowly,
Yes,
yeah.
they're
PCMP
slowly coming
guarantee,
back
they'll
down
wrap
to
it up.
reality.
Cincinnati is the team to put on the parlay ticket. Money line is a ticket. Guys, the spread for this game, though, if you're a bettor, is 2.5. Are you taking that all day?
Taking the Bengals 2.5 for sure.
All right, put that on your parlay ticket. Cincinnati minus 2.5 across the board. And Steve is trying to tell me 7. Guys, don't go that. I don't know why. He always does this. It's weird.
Wouldn't I say 7?
Let's move on.
With your eyes.
with your eyes, Steve.
Your eyes
with
said
your
7.
eyes. All right, Saints, Panthers coming at you now. Saints versus Panthers, New Orleans Saints. It seems like Taysom Hill is going to be the starting quarterback this week. Lots of question marks there in New Orleans. Carolina Panthers going with MVP Jay Walker from the Houston Roughnecks and his AAF time in playing football. That's right, the Houston Roughnecks, Steve. If you don't know who that is, you should look it up. MVP Jay Walker.
Love
you know
him.
who that is?
Well, you got Saints versus Panthers on the screen here. That's not right.
Yeah, it is.
Is that not? Yeah, it is.
Wait, it is? I thought it was
Saints and Panthers, man.
Yep, Saints
I
and
thought it was
Panthers.
Patriots Panthers this week.
No.
Oh yeah,
No.
I think it is. I think it is. Hold on. Hold
Yeah,
the
I'm pretty-
phones, people. Hold the phones, Cotton.
Yeah, it's Patriots Panthers because Stephon
It is
Gilmore.
Falcons. Saints Falcons. Saints
Yeah,
Falcons
there
is the game. Yeah, Saints Falcons. Steve won. Andrew Ernest nothing in the correction screen. It looks like our producer Londo is going to be fixing
guys,
that for us.
This is not good. I'm
Fucking
the only
Londo.
one here paying attention, and I'm not
It's true,
paying
it doesn't-
attention at all.
It does not happen often. I'm gonna guess long days at work for both Andrew and I. Saints Falcons. Here we go. Saints I already mentioned.
And now you're
Atlanta
making fun of me
Falcons.
for being out of work.
Sorry, Steve. Sorry. Cordarrelle Patterson is the focal point of that Atlanta Falcons offense. Calvin Ridley owners, watch out. Move him out of your lineup. Trust me, I don't know when he's coming back. Nobody does right now. Let him get his head straight, but good for him for knowing when you need to take a step back. Tajay Sharp might be something you want to watch out for out there.
Russell Gage.
Even some Russell Gage if you're into that. But the Atlanta Falcons have a new method. It's out of the backfield. It's Patterson. It's Mike Davis. It is Kyle Pitts. Go and find those guys. Those are the guys you want in Atlanta. And they're the guys that are going to lead them to victory. I got the Falcons winning this game. Andrew.
Yeah, who would have known that Cordell Patterson would be like the highlight of this offense, which he's just been the most slept on guy in every organization that he's ever played in because essentially he's only ever been a punt returner and a weird running back, which makes no sense to me. But he is a great offense. He can catch. He's a slot guy. He can run out of the back a couple times this year. He's got some rushing touchdowns. I think it's helped Matt Ryan a lot, having his length and what he can do. Kyle Pitts is just an unreal tight end. The kid's going to be a force for quite some time. It took him a little while to get into his stride, but I mean, on the other side of the ball, Taysom Hill is a starting quarterback. I said it last year. He is a horrible quarterback. Give me the Falcons to win this game. I don't even know what the spread is, but it should be about 4.5. I'm guessing 5.
Looks like it is 6.
Yeah, I'm
Saints
taking
way.
it. The Saints way?
Saints are favored by 6.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
How?
I have
get
no
that.
idea.
I don't
Maybe
get
at
it.
home.
Like, I mean, Kamara's good, but they can't hit. The thing with the Saints is they can't hit any of their wide receivers in stride at all.
Yeah, and the other two not on this show picked the Saints to win, so maybe it's just something we're missing there, Steve.
What the shit? Okay, Falcons to win.
Dude, I got the Falcons. I know that.
I did too.
I know the Saints are coming off beating the Bucs last week, but like, I mean, I just feel like Brady's just got like bad luck with that team or whatever. But like, I don't know. I can't bet on Trevor Siemian or Taysom Hill
not
winning
a chance.
a second game in a row. Come on, that doesn't.
No,
I would have.
And the Falcons are putting it together. They are starting to put it together. I know Calvin Ridley just stepped aside, but I've actually liked what I've seen out of the Falcons the last 3-4 weeks.
They're in every game.
Yeah, no, they're in every game, and like Cordell Patterson, like you guys said, Mike Davis, they're contributing. They're finding ways to make plays happen for these guys, like Kyle Pitts again, like you said. They're not great, but they're good enough to beat
You do not have to be
To beat
great
the
to get
Saints.
You do not have to be great to get the 7th spot in the NFC, right? The 7th spot right now is a 500 team, so that is important. The bowler Powell says they are the same guys that picked top 4 in FBS. Absolutely freaking agree. Absolutely freaking agree. What a travesty that UTSA is not ranked in that stupid freaking ranking.
Dumb.
Boy, don't even get me started. You know what, though? You got me started on that. Now my
God.
energy's up now. I got to think Roadrunner and bring it back down. Let's talk about Panthers Patriots so I can get Steve on the same level here. Panthers Patriots. Panthers MVP PJ Walker, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey is back. McCaffrey owners, smile. It's the day. It's the week. You guys are excited. And then there goes Sam Darnold in concussion protocol. Sorry about that, Panthers fans. But the New England Patriots will absolutely dominate this game, even on the road. MVP PJ Walker, although I love him, Houston Roughnecks fan, Patriots are the real deal. I will be the second to apologize to Steve because Andrew should be the first. But I will say the Patriots are the real deal. I knew it when they played the Cowboys. Now we see it again when they play the Chargers. Steve was right. Andrew was wrong. Let's just move on from there. Let Steve bask in this. Andrew, who do you have in this game?
Yeah, I'll take the L. I'm cool with that. I get it. I texted Steve, and I was very humble about it. I said,
"Yeah, no, he did.
I said the Patriots played a perfect game. I took the Chargers, and the only reason why I took the Chargers is because they were coming off the bye week, and I thought, Herbert could use the rest. Eckler, Allen, Williams, and then Mike Williams was fucking super irrelevant again. Keenan Allen had a good game. Eckler played really, really well. Herbert made some pretty untimely passes, but Belichick's defense, man, he sent the kitchen sink at him again, and he just frustrates quarterbacks beyond belief. I mean, Dak looked confident against New England, and Justin Herbert looked like a confused little boy. I mean, he was like, 11 for 45 on passing? It was horrendous.
So do you guys remember when I said that I thought Belichick had started calling the plays on defense?
It makes sense. It does. It does. Matt Judon.
I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but I don't think last week hurt my theory.
And so, so when I was doing my thoughts between this game, between the Panthers and the Patriots, prior to all of this, I've kind of come to the conclusion that I'm going to take the Patriots. It hurts me to say, but I am going to take them after what I've seen. But the fact that CMC has been reactivated into this offense with a quarterback like PJ Walker, who has good chemistry with CMC last year's when they were playing together. I mean, I like CMC, but God, how healthy is he? That's my only concern. That's why I'm going to take the Patriots in this, because I have no idea where Christian McCaffrey is on the healthy scale.
Yeah, I think it should be the Patriots all the way. Let's move on, guys. We're going to New York. The New York Giants.
I don't even get to give my input.
No, we already know who it is, Steve. You get the Patriots. I don't even go to you on this. Do you want to brag though?
I was humble in defeat. Okay.
The thing is, I can't do the guarantee. Did Steve freeze? I think Steve froze, right?
Kinda.
Mid smile. He's the happiest he's ever been.
Yeah. No, I don't. Look.
Steve, your audio's cutting out really bad. We'll come back to you.
New England Wi-Fi.
Absolutely, Roger Goodell.
Deflate.
Here's with
turnovers. Mac Jones, best quarterback on planet.
Here's what we're gonna do.
No, but
Londo, bring him backstage. We'll bring him back on when his feed's back. We'll get Steve back.
That boy's struggling.
All right, we'll get Steve back when he's back at 100%. Let's go Giants Raiders. The New York Giants played a stupendous game against Kansas City. Looking very good. They played a good game. It was a really good game.
Did we watch the same game?
I mean, Kansas City looked like crap, but it was a good game. Devontae Booker looks fantastic.
Listen, I had Booker as being their RB1 at the start of the year. I thought he was going to be the guy because I didn't know if Barkley was healthy or not. And he was good last year, too.
He looks phenomenal. You can go behind a back. You can run behind a good back. I just I don't like Jason Garrett. I'm not going to say that they're a terrible
No,
team.
Jason Garrett's play calling once again costs him again. I mean, that's just as simple as that.
Absolutely. But you have a traveling West Coast team going east in Las Vegas Raiders going through this tragedy that's happening with their team. A lot of people would say shy away from this game. As a bettor, I would actually encourage you to go Las Vegas in this game. I actually think the Raiders coming off the bye, well rested, got over to the East Coast early. There's not going to have that lag. I like the Raiders a lot in this game. I like this as a redemption game for Josh Jacobs. So Josh Jacob owners, hang tight. It's coming. This might be the breakout game for you. I'm taking the Raiders to win this game. And if you are betting the spread on this game, I do like Vegas -3. If you can buy that half-point back, do it. But I take Vegas 3 or 2.5 if you can. Andrew, going to go to you because I think Steve still looks frozen.
Just as you said, Jacobs is back, which is fantasy relevant if you have him first and foremost. Darren Waller is back, which is a huge add because he didn't have him last week. And Hunter Renfrew has now become the #1 wide receiver with the Ruggs situation. So if you have any of those guys fantasy-wise, it's going to be a good day for you. That secondary in the Giants isn't that great. They got exposed a few times against Patrick Mahomes. A lot of soft coverage that they were playing, which I never understood against guys like Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I thought the Chiefs would adjust and go more on it, but they didn't. But that's a story for later on. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm taking the Raiders in this game. Giants are piss poor.
Yeah, definitely going Raiders in this game as well. Add that to your BCMG. Is it a guarantee? Is it a guarantee?
Well,
it is not a guarantee. Dre has chosen the Giants to win this game. I don't know why. Steve still looks frozen backstage. Let's move on. Baltimore Ravens versus the Minnesota Vikings in a game that's going to be a pretty decent shootout. I think there's going to be a lot of points back and forth in this game. Baltimore, though, having the rest out of the bye week on this one. This is a bye week win for me for the Baltimore Ravens. Minnesota Vikings coming from a Sunday night game, having the shorter week to recover, and also not going to be completely focused on what's going on, more what happened and the strength of schedule going forward. There's a trap game for the Vikings. Baltimore wins and rolls in this game. I do like Baltimore to win this game. The spread's 6. I'm not playing with that. Baltimore money line for me, Andrew.
Baltimore money line, same. I think that having the bye week, a little bit of rest. I mean, I think you're going to see a rejuvenated Hollywood, Lamar, Mark Andrews. I think it's going to be a much better game or a much better team than we saw against the Bengals for sure. And the Vikings, what do they have, man? Honestly, I don't see anything that's like everybody's been on this, and I love the buttholes, and I know that they cover them. That's their team, and I understand where their logic is, but watching that game against the Cowboys, it just didn't you kept us there, but you faced a backup quarterback who, has never played an NFL game in his career, and we still beat you. I don't know. Give me the Ravens, man. The Vikings have no identity at this point.
Steve, you're coming in late, but we're on Ravens-Vikings. Who do you have in this game?
I ain't betting on the Vikings right now, man. If they couldn't beat Cooper Rush, I don't think they can beat Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, no doubt.
That is the best analysis we had so far. Giants, Raiders. Steve, who do you have?
I get the Raiders. I know they're dealing with all that, but I think we've seen that this team can come together because I think they've overcame something much worse to the actual players to deal with the John Gruden situation, and coming together after that. Then they can move on from losing Henry Ruggs. That's about the team coming together. I think they have the guys in the locker room to do that.
For sure. And you got to know that they're motivated to play.
Yeah. I'd like people to also store away Brian Edwards if he's available in your league. Put him away just in case. You don't know, right? You don't know until you see what the new offense. Let's talk about Dre's snoozer of the week. That's right. Miami Dolphins versus the Houston Texans in Dre's snoozer of the week. That's right. Dre's snoozer of the week. He is all about this game. Dre Rogers also prevented us from having another BCMG guarantee, but he is taking Miami in this game. So is Ashley. Steve, who do you have in this game?
I got to take Miami, who managed to not trade their quarterback to Houston this week.
Ironically.
Fact.
I think you've absolutely destroyed. They've absolutely destroyed Tua's confidence, but and I think that's going to affect his play. But they're still going to play good enough to beat the fucking Texans.
Yeah, Texans traded as many people as they could at the deadline. Andrew.
It's a Myles Gaskin game if you're a fantasy owner. I like Gesicki this year too. He's the 5th best tight end in the league, which I picked him off of waivers like week 2, which has been just a godsend because I have him and Andrews. But I do think that this game is going to be a blowout. The Texans are so bad. They have so many holes. I know that Tua is probably in his mind right now, probably a little bit lost about whether this team wants him or not. And we'll see about the offseason because who knows, Deshaun might end up as a Miami Dolphin at the end of the year after we find out a little bit more about all these court details and shit like that. But Dolphins win this game.
Yeah, the Dolphins winning this game and covering the spread. The spread right now, if you're a betting person, is 6.5.
For sure, covering.
You can sound that off. Baltimore and Miami money lines. Add those to your parlay tickets. BCMG guarantees. We'll do a full rundown at the end of tonight's show. We are close, guys. We are very close. Let's go to the Green Bay COVIDs traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs moved from 1.5-point favorites to 7.5-point favorites in a matter of 5 minutes. Chiefs 7.5-point favorites against the Packers. Again, we're only discussing money line. I'm going Kansas City money line for reasons we've already talked about all over the place. Jordan Love starting in this game. A slew of Packers are now not going because of COVID reasons, including some offensive linemen. I'm going Chiefs, and it's probably going to be a blowout, but I'm taking the Chiefs to win. Andrew.
What the actual fuck? 7.5 after one guy disappears? Yikes. I don't know if they've watched any Kansas City games, but they probably should have held firm on the 3. Patrick Mahomes is seeing ghosts, man. This is I don't know what has happened between the Super Bowl and now and the last 2 years of this guy just being out of this world. I think a lot of defenses have obviously picked up on who he is as a player, but fuck, he could have got picked up. He could have got picked off like 9 times in that Giants game. He just threw some throws that just Steve and I were talking. I was just like, what is happening?
He's running out of the pocket too fast. He's running out of pockets that aren't collapsing. I think it's almost like he's got shell shock from the Super Bowl.
I will take in this game. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I was going to take the Packers if Rodgers was playing, which Rodgers owners be very suspicious because he might be facing a bit of a suspension from the NFL for lying first and foremost. So we'll see what happens in that drama-filled situation, but give me the Chiefs to win this game.
Steve, who are you picking?
I am picking the Chiefs because Aaron Rodgers is out, and I am also picking Robot Goodell to show up this week for the PR shitstorm that's about to come out from the NFL.
Del Powell picks the Chiefs to win by 10. He does think that the league has figured him out a bit, and that is a BCMG guarantee. That's right, add it in there. Kansas City money line. Get hyped. Before we go to the final game, a quick shout out to Del Powell, Perfy, all of you who have joined us throughout the night. Thank you guys so much for being dedicated listeners, friends of the show, friends from me. I appreciate you guys and all of your commitment to ITL and BCMG. Guys, Eagles, Chargers, which is arguably going to be probably the game to watch. I think this is going to be extremely competitive. Not so fast, Andrew. We have mixed results on this one. So let's dive through this. You guys look both heartbroken. It would be very funny. You guys picked opposite teams. So let's start with this with Steve. Steve, who do you have?
I'm taking the Chargers. The Eagles beat the Lions. I would admit I was wrong about the Eagles. They played a lot better than I was also dead wrong about the Lions. But no, I'm taking the Chargers. I think they're going to bounce back off the Patriots win. Playing Nick Sirianni is a lot different than playing Bill Belichick.
Yep, that is one Chargers pick on this show. Andrew.
The fucking Eagles suck, man. They're horrible.
Thank you.
They're absolutely terrible. They have no identity, and they beat up on the lonely Detroit Lions, who, folks, might not win a game this year. That's my BCMG guarantee is that the Detroit Lions go perfect this year, 0-17. So give me the Chargers.
And then they fuck up their draft.
Yep, absolutely. I am going to go with the Chargers myself. Chargers are going to win this game. They're going to win handedly against the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe some garbage time touchdowns for Jalen Hurts. The lone Philadelphia BCMG guarantee ruiner is Dre Rogers. He chose Philadelphia to win this game. Dre has some questionable picks this week, but it's what it's all about. That man is in first place in ITL Pick'em. And Andrew says he is on the way to take that throne. Guys, that is our show. Let's relay and run through our BCMG guaranteed picks. That is right. Dallas Cowboys -9, Arizona Cardinals -1.5, the Pittsburgh Steelers -6, the Buffalo Bills money line, the Cincinnati Bengals -2.5, Baltimore Ravens money line, the Miami Dolphins -6.5, and your Kansas City Chiefs money line, all part of that parlay. Take a look for the social media posts on Facebook and Twitter. That'll show you what $5 would get you with that parlay ticket. So far, we've been 1 or 2 off for those parlays. We've hit 1 this year, which would be exciting for you guys if you guys could hit that. But if you're playing each pick, you'd be up by at least $400. So play those picks, have some fun with it. And by all means, good luck to your teams this week, especially you Cowboys fans. I hope you guys get another dub. See the good times rolling. Stephen A. chose us number 1 in the NFL. That doesn't happen often, guys. It's something special. Steve says we're a Super Bowl team. Doesn't happen. It's something special. Andrew, tell the people where they could find you.
You said you were going to the NFC Championship.
Hey, I said it last week. Those Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. You guys laughed at me. You all laughed at me. Anyways, nonetheless, you can find me at the Boomtown Pod. You can also find us on Twitter. That you can find us on Facebook. I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody who's been obviously following us. We just hit 400 likes and followers on Facebook. We hit 900 followers on Instagram, which about 6 months ago I had about 120. So the support has been amazing, incredible. Thank you so much. Also Friday at 7:30. That's 8:30 Eastern, and I think we're on the same time now, Central. I can never keep up with these time changes. Charmaine Tweet, former legend of the MMA female side of the world, is going to be joining us on the podcast. She's fought Ronda Rousey. She has fought Chris Cyborg. She's fought Megan Anderson. So she's fought in the who's who of the women's division. So I'm very excited to have her on, and we'll be streaming across all Blue Collar Media Group networks and, of course, the Boomtown Pod.
That is fantastic news. Andrew, big shout out to you, man, for continuing to rise in your fandom right there, man. You ringside now, you'll be doing some commentating and covering your show.
Can I say that now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but I totally forgot about it. But yes, I can't tell you this.
No, I'm just kidding.
I can't give the specific date yet because everything's getting locked in. But yes, I have been offered a pretty sweet position with Palace Athena's Women's Fighting Championship, which is the very first all-women's MMA group in Western Canada, which is completely amazing. So far on our roster, we have 12 fighters, so things continue to grow. And it's been pretty cool to be a part of this and be behind the scenes. Charmaine, who I'm going to be introducing everybody, is also part of the team in there as well. So we've been really to the forefront. Boomtown has loved women's MMA. Speaking of women's MMA, UFC 268, Weili Zhang taking on Thug Rose Namajunas. I'm so pumped. It's a co-main event of the night for the Bantamweight Championship. So, yeah, I mean, women's MMA is amazing, but I'm going to be doing the color commentary and ringside stuff as well. So watch for that, guys. Thank you for, again, all the support.
Absolutely. Not a problem at all. We're very, very, very proud and very, very happy to see you growing, Andrew. So keep up the good work. Steve, the General Reisner, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me at Reisner_Steven on Twitter. And you can find me, catch me Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You had Job from the Source Podcast fill in for me this week, but I will be back this weekend to talk some NFL right before game time on Sunday.
Yep, special shout out to the Dell, the Bowler, Powell taking off. Appreciate you, man. Coach
Have
Peanut
fun your trip, man.
Absolutely. Coach Peanut, thanks for tuning in as well. Hope your Browns get to come back just next week because we all chose against them.
Prove me wrong.
Ernest Doc E. Silva here, the host of the Intolab podcast in our great San Antonio Intolab movie studio. Steve calls it just an expanded man cave, but we have a huge setup here, guys. Thank you so much for your support.
Just an expanded man cave? Dude, that's a badass fucking man cave.
one of the most badass.
Really appreciate everybody's support and appreciate you guys being friends of the show and really being a part of this journey. BCMG has tons of stuff coming up in the next couple months. Huge revamp of the company in January in 2022. So thank you guys for all your support. Be a part of the new BCMG starting in January. # Better Together. Hope you guys have a great week and good luck to your teams. Good luck to your tickets, and have a great night, everybody.